Welcome back to Sarva Shakti. Shri Kalki Purana ki jai, Srila Vyasadev ki jai, Shri Shuka ki jai, Shri Kalki Avatar ki jai. Chapter 5, Padmavati's Swayamvara. Shuka Uvacha. Shuka said, after a long time had passed, King Vrihadratha realized that his daughter Padmavati has grown up. Fearing some misbehavior on her part, the king began to consider the matter very seriously. He addressed his queen, "O fortunate one, I am considering handing over my daughter to a pious king who belongs to a noble family and thus accept him as my son-in-law." However, the queen said, "O king, the lord of Parvati has already assured us that Padmavati's husband will undoubtedly be Lord Hari." 4. Upon hearing this, King Vrihadratha said, "When will Lord Hari, who is present without the hearts of all living entities, accepts our daughter as his wife?" 5 and 6. I do not feel that I am so fortunate to be able to hand over my daughter to Lord Vishnu. What piety have I accumulated so that I will be able to accept Lord Hari as my son-in-law? Therefore, just like the Muni daughter Devadatta or Lakshmi who appeared from the ocean of milk as it was being churned, I would like to arrange a Swayamvara for my jewel-like daughter Padmavati. Let Lord Hari come and accept her in this way. 7. Having made this resolution, the king invited all the other kings of the country who were adorned with good qualities of good character, learned, very wealthy, and in the prime of their youth. 8. To ensure that Swayamvara's grand success, King Vrihadratha made auspicious arrangements throughout his kingdom. He ordered religious rituals to be performed throughout the land, and he also made arrangements for the stay of the invited guests. 9. Meanwhile, many kings, having the desire to accept Padmavati's hand in marriage, arrived in that island fully decorated with golden ornaments and accompanied by their armies. 10. Some kings and princes arrived on chariots, some on elephants, and yet others came riding on beautiful horses. A white umbrella was held over the heads of these powerful kings, and they were fanned with chamaras. 11:13. Because of the brightly shining weapons of their hands, these princes appear as beautiful as Indra, surrounded by all the demigods. Among the kings who arrived there were Ruchiraswa, Sukarma, Madiraksha, Trihashuga, Krishnasara, Parada, Jimuta, Krura Mardana, Kasha, Kushumbu, Vasuman, Kanka, Kratana, Sanjaya, Gurumitra, Pramati, Vijrimbaha, Srinjaya, and Akshama. 14. Where the kings arrived at the Swayamvara, they were respectfully greeted, and thus they took their seats in a happy mood. A dancing and singing program then commenced for their pleasure. Because of the presence of the illustrious rulers of men, the arena looked very colorful and enchanting. 15. The eyes and minds of everyone who saw these aristocratic and powerful kings became filled with joy. When everyone was comfortable seated, Vrihadratha requested his associate to bring his uniquely beautiful daughter onto the stage. 16. Padmavati's complexion was golden and her face resembled the full moon. She possessed all godly qualities, and she was decorated with a garland of flowers. Her entire body was covered with jewels, pearls, and coral. 17. When I saw Padmavati, I considered her to be the personification of Maya, which bewildered everyone. Then again I wondered whether she was Rati Devi herself, the beloved consort of Cupid, appearing upon the earth. Although I have traveled throughout the heavenly planets as well as on this earth, and indeed throughout the entire 3 worlds, I have never seen a more beautiful girl than Padmavati. 18. When Padmavati came out from the palace, hundreds of her companions and maidservants surrounded her on all sides. 1921. When the princess left the palace, she was protected by her personal guards, who were equipped with various weapons. Professional singers walked before her as she arrived at the Swayambara arena. An enchanting sound was created by her ankle belts, and her earrings swung back and forth as she slowly entered within the midst of the assembled kings and princes, gazing in all directions, a flower garland in her hand. Padmavati was then informed of the family background and distinguishing characteristics of all those who had come seeking her hand in marriage. 22. Her hair swung to and fro, and she glanced about the arena, and this increased the beauty of her cheeks. Her face appeared even more beautiful when she smiled, so that she resembled a full-blossomed lotus flower. 23. The waist of the princess was very thin. She was dressed in red garment, and her voice was pleasing to hear, like the singing of a cuckoo. When I saw all of these manifestations of feminine attractiveness, I thought that the princess had decided to purchase the entire 3 worlds by paying the price of her exquisite beauty. 24. As soon as the assembled kings saw the jewel like Padmavati, they became greatly afflicted by the arrows of the Cupid. Indeed, they were so struck with wonder that their weapons fell from their hands. 25. However, as the kings gazed upon the princess with lusty desires, they suddenly transformed into females. Much to their astonishment, their bodily features, characteristics, and personalities became just like women. Their waists were thin, and their figures were beautiful. Indeed, their beautiful bodies bent slightly forward due to the weight of their heavy breasts. 26. Their movements and smiles, and well as their dancing and singing skills became that of a woman, their faces appeared charming, just like blooming lotus flowers. Upon finding themselves to be beautiful women, the kings followed Padmavati as if they were her companions. 27. At that time, I climbed up into a banyan tree, deciding to watch the Swayambara of Padmavati. I was already very upset after seeing all that had taken place. I waited to hear if Padmavati would express her unhappiness because all the kings had turned into women. 28. O Lord Kalki, you are the master of the universe. Let me disclose to you the lamentations of your consort, Kamala, while she was meditating upon her worshipable Lord, Shankar. 29. All the kings who came there, hoping to marry Padmavati, were rejected by their respective carriers, the elephants and horses, and even their soldiers. When they followed the princess as her companions, she took off all her ornaments and began to write something on the ground with her right toe, with a desire to make the words of Lord Shiva come true. Padmavati fixed her mind on her own beloved Lord Hari, the Supreme Controller. Thus ends the translation of the 5th chapter of Sri Kalki Purana. Sri Kalki Purana ki Jai. Chapter 6. Shuka goes to Simhala and as the envoy of Lord Kalki. Conversation between Padmavati and Shuka. 1. Shuka said, thereafter, while surrounded by her relatives and companions, and herself highly astonished, Padmavati addressed one of her friends, named Vimala, while still remembering her husband Lord Hari. 2. Padmavati said, "O Bimala, it is my destiny, dictated by providence, that any man who desires me will turn into a woman." 3. I am extremely unfortunate and sinful. Just as sowing seeds on barren land is useless, I worship of Lord Shiva has proved futile. 4. Will the Supreme Lord, the Master of the universe, Hari, controller of all controllers and husband of Lakshmi, ever accept me as his consort? 5. In the words of Lord Shiva, if the words of Lord Shiva prove false, and if Lord Hari does not accept me, I will certainly end my life by entering fire while remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. Alas, I am a lowly human being. How insignificant I am, and how great is Lord Hari, the master of the demigods. The Creator must be angry with me, otherwise why will Shankara, whose forehead is decorated with the mark of the moon, deceive me? 7. I am still living, even after being rejected by Lord Hari. Who other than me will remain alive in such a situation? 8. O Lord Kalki, when I hear these lamentations of Padmavati, whose character is spotless, I could not wait any longer, so I approached you without delay. 9. After hearing these words of Shuka, Lord Kalki felt elated. He said, "My dear Shuka, you must go at once and pacify my beloved Padmavati." 10. I consider you to be my best well-wishing friend. Please go to Padmavati as my messenger, and after describing my beauty and qualities to her, return to me. 11. Padmavati is very dear to me. Indeed, I am her eternal husband. Our union is already being destined by providence. Therefore, you act on my behalf, so that we can meet one another. 12. You are the knower of everything. You know all the rules and regulations prescribed in the Vedas. You also understand about the proper time and circumstances. Therefore, pacify Padmavati with your nectarian words, and then return to me with assurance. 13. Being instructed by Lord Kalki in this way, Shuka became jubilant, and his entire body became filled with ecstasy. He offered his obeisance to the Lord and quickly departed from Simhala. 14:16. Thus Shuka, the great parrot, crossed the ocean. Upon reaching his destination, he first bathed, drank some water, and ate many sweet and ripe fruits. After that, he entered the king's palace and sat at the top of the Nagakeshar tree, which was situated within the compound of the ladies' quarters. After some time, the magnanimous Shuka saw Padmavati approach, and so he addressed her in a human voice. "O beautiful lady, with a most charming face, your eyes appear to be very restless. By seeing you, I feel that you are Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune." 17. Your face resembles a lotus flower. The aroma of your body is like the scent of a lotus, and your eyes are just like lotus petals. Your hands are reddish like lotus flowers, and you hold a lotus in your hand. 18. O beautiful one with a charming face, you simply bewilder all the living entities. I think that the Creator had made you after collecting all beautiful objects of the world. 19:20. Upon hearing these sweet words of Shuka, Padmavati, whose navel resembled a lotus, smiled and said, "Who are you? Where have you come from? Are you a demigod or a demon who has taken the form of a parrot? It is out of compassion for me that you have come here." 21. Shuka said, "I am the knower of everything, and so I know the intentions of everyone. I am well aware of the real purpose of all scriptures. I am highly regarded in the assembly of demigods, Gandharvas, and saintly kings." 22. I travel in outer space out of free will. I have now come here just to see you. Although you are very learned, at present you are afflicted with grief, and thus you have given up all thoughts of enjoyment. 23-24. You have given up smiling, joking, speaking with others, the company of your friends, and all kinds of jewelry. By seeing you in such a pathetic condition, I feel morose, and so I would like to hear your sweet voice which defeats the songs of a cuckoo. Only one who has undergone great austerities is able to hear the words that are produced by the combined effort of your teeth, lips, and tongue. 25-26. For you, the tenderness of a syriza flower and the brightness of the full moon are most insignificant. People always glorify the nectar and bliss of a Brahman, but to you even this seems insignificant. The pious exalted soul who will drink the nectar of your face while being held in the creepers of your arms does not require to perform any religious duties, such as performing penance, chanting mantras, and giving charity. 27. Anyone who once beholds your beautiful face decorated with marks of tilak, curly hair, swinging earrings, and beautiful eyes will no longer have to accept another material body. 28. O daughter of King Vrihadratha, O well-wisher of all, please tell me the cause of your mental agony. You have no material attachments, and yet you have become very weak because of mental distress. At present, you look like a golden deity covered by dust. 29. Padmavati said, if Lord Hari is against someone, then what is the use of beauty, opulence, and prestigious lineage? 30. My dear beard, if you do not know why I am suffering, then kindly hear with attention. I engage in the worship of Lord Shiva as a child, and also when I become a mature girl. 31. As a result of my worship, Lord Shiva, whose head is decorated with the sign of the moon, appeared before me, along with Parvati, and said, O Padmavati, ask me for a benediction. 32. When he saw me standing before him, my head hung low due to shyness, and my body fully covered, he assured me, saying, the Supreme Lord Hari will become your husband. Swasti. 33. Whether he is a demigod, Gandharva, Asura, or any other creature, if a male looks upon you with lust in his heart, then he will immediately turn into a woman. 34. Padmavati said to Shuka, let me tell you about the procedure for worshipping Lord Hari that Lord Shiva described to me after awarding me that benediction. 35. These companions of mine that you see here, they were all great kings at the time of my Swayambara, which was arranged by my father. 36-37. These kings were very handsome, highly skilled, and unlimitedly powerful. After they had assembled here with a desire to marry me, I entered the arena of my Swayambara, holding the necklace of jewels in my hand. Although these kings had been sitting at ease, as soon as they saw me, their hearts were pierced by the arrows of Cupid, and some even fainted, falling onto the ground. 38. Whoever, as soon as they stood up, having regained their composure, they were aghast to find that they had been transformed into women, with rounded hips and heavy breasts. O parrot, upon seeing themselves in this way, the kings became highly embarrassed and afraid to look at one another. At last, with broken hearts, they decided to follow me as my companions. 40. Since that time, all the kings have been living with me as my companions. They are very talented women and are living under the shelter of my affection. Along with me, they also engage in worshipping Lord Hari, rendering service unto him, meditating upon the Lord, and performing austerities for his pleasure. 41. After hearing this wonderful story from the mouth of Padmavati, Shuka continued to speak with her in a very pleasing manner, and then brought up the subject of Lord Hari. Thus ends the translation of the 6th chapter of Shri Kalki Purana. Shri Kalki Avatara ki Jai. Shri Padmavati ki Jai. Shri Kalki Avatara ki Jai. Shri Vyasadev ki Jai. Shri Shuka Dev ki Jai. Today, 7th of January 2024, in the holiday of Ekadashi, I end the reading of 7 weeks every Sunday in Spanish, the translation of this book for 15 students of Spanish language who enjoyed the Sri Kalki Purana. It was extremely nectarious to do this, and now I am giving the same service to you. I truly appreciate that you are watching my channel and the readings. Thanks very much. Remember, if you are new on the channel, please subscribe and share on your social media. It will help me a lot. See you in the next. Shri Kalki Avatara ki Jai.